Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time we uncovered the existence of this fifth passenger here on the omnibus. Her name is Gina Lestrade. However, we don't know too much about her just yet. She seems more like a stowaway because she was hiding underneath the seat inside the carriage, which is quite strange. So now that we got her up, her up here on stand, we're gonna see what she has to say. What did you see, Gina? So I stuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I'll tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitched in there. Then, after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that, this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let the street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. Well, don't say that, man. We're trying to get you off the hook. As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I was that night. And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume? Indeed, we saw that, although there was stuff in there when we checked it. Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone as the girl's stature. Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there, because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration. Oh! So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord. Not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate loss. My goodness! Oh, what a perfect gentleman! My lord! This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. Change sides, change sides! I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. Yeah! Awesome. She's the only one left now. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Oh yes, she's changing too. Sakes alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty? Does that mean we win? I mean, surely not. Mr. Naruhodo, this, well, must mean... It must mean what? That we're victorious! We've won? Are you sure? Objection. I'm gonna say, just as how we're able to overturn their guilty opinions, I'm sure the prosecutor probably has the same right, correct? That's what I'm assuming here. If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy. I was just gonna comment on that too. That animation of him putting his foot up on the desk, that was pretty cool too. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? I would be upset too if I was a prosecutor. You know, like, we really have nothing going for us other than, oh, this guy's so good. He's such a good, upstanding gent, you know? When really he should absolutely be convicted because no one else was in inside the carriage at the time. Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. Yeah, wasn't there stuff in there? The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilden's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seats. What? I mean, that definitely is strange. Because when we examined it inside the courtroom, there was stuff in there. So I'm guessing that must have happened when the smoke bomb went off. Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be? I mean, it's kind of interesting that he says that, right? I mean, I did obviously do that, but, surely he would have just seen Ryunosuke just go in there and examine it, right? Because it's on full display right here in front of us. Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? What? Oh, man. Well, I don't think it's good to lie. We gotta find out the truth here. Let's say it wasn't empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes. Are you sure, counsel? I'll not be whist! What are you saying now, you daft daw? I thought you were on my side here. He's getting angry. Man, he really is kind of short, isn't he? What game are you playing? You're tasked to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? Because I'm a no good goody two-shoes, you know, and I gotta tell the truth. As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Interesting. 'Tis not altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing, and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? No. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So, it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pickpurse are lying! Oh, there goes our unanimous vote. Ah! I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers, nothing but cowards, the lots of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick! Of course it's a trick! Uh-oh. Please, don't everyone do this. No! Quite so, I must concur here. You guys are terrible jurors if your guys' opinions change this easily. Come on. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted, almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey's at work, it would seem. I gotta tell you, man, these jurors, throw them out. They're way too easily convinced of anything. So I stepped inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. I don't really care about that. Well, maybe I should ask what she was doing in there. Is that... Yeah, let's just press this, actually. We'll press everything. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run. Well, yeah. I mean, what's the point of spending a joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea in it. I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief. Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up a little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20, to which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free. The red conk of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? So that's when I slip into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seats. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach, no? Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could ride under the seats. That's all I can tell you. It seems we reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. Press that. A waste of time? Why is that? Because she couldn't steal anything. Well, most nights I'm on my own in the God permits at least some of the time. Wait, what is she saying? Well, most nights I'm on my own in the God permits at least some of the time. I beg your pardon, did you say God permits? I didn't understand that either, Judge. Oh yeah, well, what my kind... That's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, in any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away? That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat on me seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister. To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been set on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade could possibly be the culprit then. Or could she? I'll tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitched in there. Oh, I didn't want to... Yeah, I wanted to press that.
Hold it.
So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and have a look out the crack. Well, how did you breathe then? Then I can have a butcher's at who I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposites. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out, I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. It feels too much like being thrown in the clink. But it's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Obstin's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to just stick it out under there, nothing else for it. Then after a while I heard this loud bang, nearly jumped down my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And he let out a scream, involuntarily. That's right. And then I felt the cushion over my head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes? Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood up in order to stab his victim, could it not? Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? No. Yeah, I saw it. What? I pushed up the cushion and had a quick butchers while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was setting up the bloke what and... Wait. Oh my god. It's so hard reading people's accents written out like this sometimes. The Irishman was sitting up the bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilden's account, of course. But then, the fellow suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it's too late by then. I should never have risked looking. It's because of that, this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. I didn't want to go on. All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. Yeah, I didn't want to push on to this. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they're all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling something's bothering me. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I want to press the last thing before I present, because it seems like the game's making it pretty obvious I'm supposed to present here. Oh. And when Mr. McGilden discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place? I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all. Next to the corpse. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit, and he ended up falling onto me. Ooh, that's gotta suck. Ugh, how awful. Both me and hands got covered in blood. Oh, both me hands. Oh, hands, okay. Both me hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Oh, that's it. That's important. Both their hands were covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passenger saw. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilden for a while, is that correct? He asked me some stuff. I still don't understand how they could possibly mix up her and him. Like, they look completely different. Like, their hats are completely different, you know? You want to know my name and what I was up in that? Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want to see I didn't want no one to see my face, so I didn't look up. When the horses were drawn up, smartish, and this Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seats. I'll see what. I'll see that you get away. See that you get away later." Okay, yeah, we read this. Blah 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 blah. Shut up! 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 We're gonna skip past that. Okay, so there is some evidence we gotta present. It's not obvious to me like right now. Let me remind myself what's in the court record right now. Let me look at the autopsy report here. A single stab wound to the abdomen. Let's look at the... Is there anything else here? Not really, no. Let's look at the picture. I don't really see anything too wrong with that. There's nothing really wrong with the gloves. Might be something with the omnibus. Let me go through the statements again. I was right, we'll waste time. I got nothing to show for me. Troubles that night. Sure. Actually, let's, I want to examine the omnibus more. Let's get inside there. Let's look at in the compartment again for ourselves. I want to, hang on, I want to open it. Is there anything in here right now? This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Is there really no way of seeing out through it? I'm trying to get a good looky-loo at it. Let's close it again. I really hate the camera in here. I wish I could like pan down more. It doesn't really seem like there is a way of looking out. Let me look. I'm gonna hang on. Okay, so the poster that he's sitting next to is the one with the words on the bottom. Let's get in there. Let me just double check something here. Is that correct? Yeah, so the victim was... Okay. That's correct. He was sitting here. I don't see anything wrong. Oh, I didn't want... Oh, dang it. I went too far again. Get through this, get through this. Like, there can't be anything wrong with this first statement, right? I don't see how that's possible. I don't see how she could... I don't see how this could have mattered either. Was it this statement that the characters were kind of suspicious of? I want to say it was this one. It's either the third or the fourth one that was suspicious. I'll tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. I mean, that makes sense to me. After a while, I hear this loud bang, nearly jumped out of me, seeing I did. The scream just came out. I don't see anything wrong with this. This is really confusing. I don't see how the gloves could be involved right here anyway. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, what? I feel like it's gotta be saving 3 or 4. Oh, I advanced too far again, dude. Skip, 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 skip. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Let me look at the court record again. Okay, I'm gonna press this third statement again. I'm gonna skip through this. Let me see. Yeah, there's nothing wrong here.
Well, no.
Oh, wait, what? Was that there before? I swear, I press this before? And I didn't hear that happen. Well, okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, sir. Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering, Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no, 'twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see, yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well. Yeah, I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade, did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was an Irishman snoring. Be jabbers, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles. You let us scamp. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a new vital clue. Yes, what should we make of that last statement of hers? I mean, it's probably profoundly important. She's testifying that he was sleeping. My lord! I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern Mind Council. Nevertheless, well, you don't need to say that. Come on. Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please. What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move. I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring. Well, let's press that.
Hold it.
So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw this swell getting on, I had me head down so he didn't notice me. And Mr. McGill sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah! Would you Adam and Eva, eh? What a mug. So then all I could do was listen. I was wanting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. Even though we stopped here and there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to the market, sort of like an old dog he was. Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? Does that make sense? I'm gonna say it doesn't add up here. Well, actually, hang on a second. Where does the victim enter in this scenario? She snuck in, and then Mr. McGill sits down, and then she doesn't hear the door open again for the victim. That's definitely very strange. Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. Ah, at odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. So Van Zeeks realized it too. Counsel! I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the courts. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGill snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think! There's something else she should have heard. Well, is this the sound of your face slapping? I don't know what I'm saying. And I still hate that animation so much. You know, guys, I'm looking at the time here. I think I'm gonna call the episode here. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'm gonna leave you guys here with a little cliffhanger. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Next time we'll definitely show what I believe is a person. That's what I'm guessing anyway. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!